Alright, so picture this. I sit down at my desk. Fresh coffee, good lighting, fully charged laptop, basically the productivity equivalent of a perfect storm. I crack my knuckles like I'm about to write the next great American novel. But really, all I need to do is reply to one email. Just one. A simple, polite, 4-sentence response that's been sitting in my inbox for 3 days. Should take, 2 minutes, max? Cut to 7 hours later. I'm watching a YouTube video about jellyfish that don't age, surrounded by 3 half-empty mugs, 2 bags of open chips, and 0 dignity. My face looks like it's buffering in real life. Like, how did we get here? See, what happened was, I opened the email. I read it. And then my brain was like, before we answer this, let's just casually rearrange all your desktop icons by color and emotional significance, which led to Googling, do penguins have knees? And then wondering if I turned the stove off 3 days ago. Not today, 3 days ago. And somehow, somewhere between reply all and how long can a human survive eating only grapes, I fell into the abyss, the beautiful, dangerous black hole called procrastination. And let me tell you, this thing, it doesn't just ruin your schedule, it eats your soul, one unnecessary tab at a time, and then, without fail, the spiral hits. First, it's harmless. I'll get to it in 5 minutes. Then it's, maybe I just need a break to mentally prepare to send an email. Then suddenly I'm lying on the floor staring at the ceiling fan thinking, what even is productivity? Are we just ants with anxiety and Wi-Fi? And let me be clear, I'm not doing nothing. I am very busy doing things that are aggressively not helpful. I've reorganized my spice rack alphabetically. I've started an online quiz to find out which type of pasta matches my personality. Spoiler, I'm a sad penne. I even considered learning the harmonica for like 7 minutes. By this point, my laptop screen has gone black from inactivity, and somehow that feels personal, like even my computer has given up on me. The email's still open in the background, still bald, still unread, still judging me silently like a passive-aggressive ghost of productivity past. Now, naturally, this leads to what I like to call a mild to medium existential crisis, TM. It starts with, why am I like this? Moves into, maybe I have a time management disorder, then lands squarely in, should I abandon society and live on a goat farm in the mountains? And let me tell you, that farm fantasy, it's detailed. Like, I've named the goats. I'm mentally building a tiny cottage with fairy lights. There's a wind chime and a garden where I definitely won't procrastinate because I'll be emotionally aligned with nature. But also, I've killed a cactus. A literal cactus, the plant that's supposed to thrive on neglect. So maybe mountain farm life isn't in my future. Eventually, reality taps me on the shoulder, and I'm back at my desk. Same chair, same email, same lack of motivation. The only difference is that it's now dark outside, and I'm inexplicably wearing a hoodie I don't remember putting on. And I'm mad at myself, because seriously? One email? One. And yet, here we are. 3 hours of scrolling, 2 identity crises, and 1 brief but intense consideration of becoming a motivational speaker with 0 qualifications later, and still, no email. At this point, I start doubting my entire identity. I start thinking maybe this is just who I am now, a walking human snooze button, a living embodiment of, I'll do it later. Honestly, if procrastination were an Olympic sport, gold medal. Every year. With a sponsored energy drink deal and everything. I imagine my diploma. Certified procrastinator with honors. I'd give a speech, but I'd forget to write it until the night before. Literally, thank you for your message. Sounds great. That's it. But apparently my brain treats that like it's being asked to deliver a TED Talk in ancient Latin. And it's not just procrastination, it's this weird mental theater that kicks in. Like suddenly I think, if I actually finish this task, then what? I become an organized adult with a stable morning routine? Who drinks enough water? Oh no. It's like my brain is afraid of success, because success might lead to expectations. So instead, I self-sabotage in increasingly creative ways. I clean the fridge. I watch conspiracy videos. I reread texts from 6 months ago for no reason. It's like I'm emotionally buffering. Like those little spinning wheels but for life choices. Somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, I start bargaining with myself. Do you ever do that? Like, okay, if I respond to the email now, I get to watch one episode of a show, which turns into 5 episodes and a sudden need to research the entire cast's relationship history. And then I tell myself, I'll just do it tomorrow. Fresh start. Like I'm a broken vending machine constantly offering refunds in the form of tomorrow. Eventually, usually around midnight, something breaks. Either my guilt threshold maxes out or I finally remember that the person I need to reply to is actually kind of important. So I panic, heating a 2-sentence reply like my keyboard is on fire. I hit send, and just like that, it's done. 2 sentences, 7 hours, 1 emotional roller coaster. And you know what? The world doesn't end. No one yells, my inbox doesn't explode, I don't get struck by lightning for being late. In fact, I get a simple reply back, no problem, thanks. And I sit there, staring at that screen, thinking, that was it? Yeah, that was it. So now, here's what I've realized. Sometimes it's not about the task. It's about the drama we wrap around it. The invisible pressure, the imaginary spotlight, the idea that every small step needs to be perfect, on time and effortless, or it doesn't count. But that's not real. What's real is this. You're allowed to be messy, to stall, to take longer than you thought, to stare at walls and get stuck in your own brain sometimes. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human with a Wi-Fi connection and a tendency to spiral. Welcome to the club. So, if you're listening to this and there's something sitting in your to-do list that's starting to grow roots and haunt your dreams, just know I've been there. I am there. Honestly, I might still be ignoring that second email from the same thread, but we'll get to it eventually. Probably. Let's aim for before the sun explodes. Cool? Cool. And just when I think the saga's over, just when I've earned my tiny, glorious, disproportionate victory, and I'm basking in the warm, golden glow of finally doing the thing, spiral starts again. My brain, now bloated with dopamine from sending the first email, casually whispers, "Hey, you did a thing today. Don't get greedy." And I nod, because that's fair. We don't want to burn out from too much success. Let's save that second email for future me. That guy, he's got his life together. That guy does yoga and reads actual books with bookmarks. That guy flosses. But here's the tragic twist I keep forgetting. Future me is just me, but with less sleep, and somehow wearing 1 sock and a hoodie that smells like microwave popcorn. And yet I keep handing that guy my problems like he's a well-paid assistant, instead of just me again 12 hours later, hunched over the same laptop, eating crackers straight from the sleeve and wondering why Gmail gives me anxiety. So the loop continues. The cycle, the great hamster wheel of human existence. But something's different now. Not in the dramatic movie score swelling kind of way, but in a small, almost invisible shift. Because yeah, I spiraled. I delayed. I mildly panicked and briefly considered quitting civilization to become a sea turtle. But I still sent the email. Eventually, after all the avoidance and chaos and inner monologue that could fill a 3-part documentary narrated by David Attenborough, I did the thing. And weirdly, I'm kind of okay with how messy it was. Because maybe this is just how it works. Maybe we've all been lied to by productivity influencers who wake up at 4:45 a.m. with glowing skin and the emotional range of a motivational poster. Maybe life isn't supposed to look like a bullet journal crossed with a sunrise montage. Maybe it's just stumbling forward, delayed, confused, with 30 tabs open, emotionally and in Chrome. I used to think being productive meant being perfect. Like if I didn't get up early and meditate and drink kale water while manifesting abundance under a moon phase, I was doing life wrong. I thought it had to be rigid, routine, and aesthetic. But now, I think productivity is just showing up. Even if it's late, even if you're a mess, even if your brain feels like it's running on dial-up internet and your soul is being held together with expired granola bars and vibes. Because the truth is, the small things, they're not small. Not when you're someone who struggles with them. That email, that text back, that phone call, it's not just a click, it's courage. It's effort. It's swimming upstream against a brain that's trying to distract you with 17 reasons why you're probably a failure and should go reorganize your fridge instead. So when you do it, even if it's late, even if you cried in the middle, even if you got distracted by a video titled 10 Signs You're Secretly a Sea Otter, that still counts. Sometimes we procrastinate, sometimes we spiral, sometimes we Google, can emotional trauma live in your hips at 2 a.m. instead of just booking a dentist appointment? But sometimes we also get up. We hit send. We drink water. We text that friend back even though it's been awkwardly too long. We try again, and again, and again, and maybe that's enough. So if you're out there right now, with a to-do list that feels like a personal attack, or a small task that's grown fangs and is now breathing fire every time you glance at it, just know you're not alone. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just a human being with a human brain that sometimes short-circuits over the tiniest things. And that's okay. You're doing better than you think. And hey, if you've got something sitting in your inbox right now, go reply to it or open it. Or just stare at it with vague emotional intent. That totally counts. If all you did today was think about doing something, I'm proud of you. If all you managed was not crying in public today, that's a win. If you spiraled, stalled, panicked, and still managed to put on pants, legendary. Gold medal, full standing ovation from the universe. As for me, I'm going to go check on that second email now, or at least think about it. Or maybe alphabetize my sock drawer by comfort level. Who knows? We'll see where the day takes me. Either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for sitting through my weird brain loops and mildly concerning tangents. You got this. Or at the very least, you'll probably get it eventually. Before the heat death of the universe. Hopefully. Or maybe just before my next existential crisis, which, statistically speaking, should arrive by next Thursday at 3:14 p.m., give or take a breakdown. But even if it doesn't, if I don't get to that email today, if my sock drawer remains emotionally disorganized, if my brain goes into airplane mode for the 5th time this week, that's still okay. Because I've learned something important, not from a TED Talk, not from a productivity guru with a ring light and a smoothie, but from just being in this mess. From sitting inside the chaos long enough to see that maybe, just maybe, the chaos is part of the process. Like, what if we're not broken? What if the spiraling, the avoidance, the overthinking, the sudden urge to deep co a spice rack we've never used, what if that's just how our brains scream, "Hey, I'm overwhelmed, but trying my best"? And that deserves compassion, not shame. It deserves a little laugh, a long nap, and probably a snack. Because under all the weirdness, all the distractions and dramatic internal monologues, there's something kind of beautiful happening. We care. That's why it's hard. That's why a simple email can feel like diffusing a bomb. It matters to us. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to be seen as careless or rude or flaky. And so we freeze and delay and overplan. And somewhere between Googling how to be a functional adult in 3 easy steps and watching videos of raccoons holding hands, we forget that effort doesn't have to be perfect to be real. I think sometimes we confuse ease with worth. Like, if it's hard for me, it must mean I'm not good at it, that I'm failing. But hard things are still things. They still count. Sometimes, dragging yourself through the smallest task is more impressive than someone else finishing a marathon because you had to fight your own mind just to get out of bed. So, no, I didn't conquer my inbox. I didn't slay the to-do list. I didn't become a productivity machine fueled by kale and inspirational quotes. But I did show up. I did keep trying. I did stay in the ring, even if I was mostly just lying on the mat, quietly whispering, "Why is everything so hard?" And you know what? That counts. And if tomorrow is the same, if I open that email, panic, and immediately distract myself by watching a video titled, "Top 5 Animal Friendships That Will Ruin Your Day Emotionally," that's okay too, because I'll keep trying. Not because I'm motivated or disciplined or made of magic, but because I care, and because I know now that showing up messy is still showing up. Trying late is still showing up. Trying late is still living. So to all the people out there quietly fighting invisible battles with their own minds, their own self-doubt, their inboxes, their inner critics, I see you. You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're just doing something really hard that no one else can see. And that is brave as hell. I hope today you do one tiny thing that scares you, even if it's just opening a tab or replying, "Sounds good," to an email that's haunted you for 2 weeks. And if you can't, that's fine too. You'll get there. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to rewatch that one sea otter video for research. It's important, very motivational, possibly life-changing, definitely not another distraction. Okay, bye for real this time. And hey, don't forget to celebrate the tiny wins. Like this one. You finished this video. That's something. That's enough. You're enough. So here's to the tiny wins. The "I almost replied" victories. The "I opened the tab and didn't cry" trophies. The "I didn't run away and start a new life as a forest hermit" milestones. You're doing better than you think. And even if today feels messy, remember, progress isn't linear. It's more like a weird dance where you move forward, trip a little, spin in a circle, and somehow end up okay. So keep dancing, keep showing up, keep being your wonderfully weird, overthinking, beautifully unfinished self. And if you do nothing else today, drink some water, send one thing, and maybe pet a dog. You got this. Okay, bye. For real, this time.